Looking back at it, we definitely should have gone for it. Just not, one of those things you look back at it and you say, of course we should go for it. We missed the field goal. But in that situation, we had a plan. We had a plan. We knew that the 46 was the mark. I'm more upset about that play before it, to lose yards. Getting that there would have definitely been better to be able to call that same play and get extra yards. But he dumps it out to Javonte. Javonte makes a move, goes a lot farther than I think we had anticipated. We were expecting to go for it on fourth down. And then you hit the mark. The mark that we had all set before we started. We said 46-yard line was where we wanted to be, and we got there. So we had to make the decision if we wanted to give it to, Brandon, and we did. And it didn't work. It sucks, but hey, that's part of it.
Thanks for joining us for the very first edition of Broncos A to Z, everyone. I'm the A, Alexis Perry, alongside the Z, Zach Stevens. After months of hype and hypotheticals, Monday night the Denver Broncos went head-to-head with the Seattle Seahawks on the league's biggest stage. And while the game didn't start or end the way the Broncos expected it to, there is a lot to build on moving forward. Zach, now that you've had a couple days to digest the Broncos' 17-16 loss to the Seahawks, what is your biggest takeaway from that game?
Well, take a deep breath, Broncos country. It's going to be okay. What this game looked like to me was a team with a rookie head coach, with a new quarterback, with a new coaching staff, and new offensive and defensive systems. Look, the first half was slow for both the offense and the defense, but then things settled in after some great halftime adjustments. They finally looked like a team that had played with each other in the second half, and the defense was dominant in the second half, and the Broncos just came up short. And we'll talk about the mistakes that were made at the end of the game, but overall, the team showed a lot more progress than they have these past few years.
Yes, everyone can take a collective deep breath. But now, before we dive even deeper into who and what impressed on Monday night and what we need to see this team improve on moving forward, first, here's an exclusive look back at Russell Wilson's return to Seattle and the unforgettable battle between the Broncos and Seahawks.
Welcome to Lumen Field here in Seattle as we are set for the Monday night opener with the Denver Broncos on the road to face the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle, with this being the opener of the season on a Monday night, they are really juiced up here at Lumen Field. Now, we all know when play starts, then it's about which team can play better. But I think from an emotional standpoint, this Seattle team is very, very eager to get their season started as well.
This year they gave up a lot, but they've got Russell Wilson, and immediately the expectations for this organization changed. We've come here many times watching him star for the Seahawks, took him to back-to-back Super Bowls, won their only Lombardi Trophy back in 2013, and the Denver Broncos went out and got him, and now he is their franchise quarterback. Not only do they think they can compete within the tough AFC West, but they also feel they can go deep into the playoffs. We get our first look at it tonight. Wilson floats it.
Russ throws the ball as Judy's open and makes the catch. Judy's still on his feet. Down the sideline, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Denver! Jerry Jeudy.
Smith has found 8 different receivers here in the first half. That'll be really well. Smith, Parkinson, touchdown, Seattle. You'd think they want a little time to be able to think this over. The clock continues to run on 4th and 5.
Snap, placement, kick on the way. It's got enough. It is no good. McManus wide left from 64.
In his Broncos debut, Russell Wilson completed 29 passes for 340 yards, the highest number of completions for a Broncos quarterback in his debut in team history.
Of those 340 yards, 67 of them came on a touchdown pass to third-year wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. That marked Jerry's second 60-plus yard receiving touchdown of his career and his first trip to the end zone since the 2020 season finale.
Yes, and it was an absolute beauty. Pass rusher Bradley Chubb also got home for the first time since the 2020 season, not just once, but twice in the fourth quarter for his 5th multi-sack game of his career.
And finally, we've got to give a big shout out to Andrew Beck, whose 52 yards on 2 catches marked a new career high for him.
While those were obviously a few of the high points from Monday night's game, there were several lows as well, which we will get to now as we take a look at Zach's Week 1 grades for the Denver Broncos. Of course, Zach, we have to start with the man of the hour, Russell Wilson. He said that he could not be more locked into the task at hand, but of course there were a ton of emotions running through him as he took the field in front of the 12s, who did everything they could to affect their former quarterback. I mentioned the completions earlier, but overall, what grade do you give Russell Wilson for his Broncos debut?
An A. Russell Wilson was great in his Broncos debut. You saw the nerves at the beginning. He was throwing some passes high. Andrew Beck made a great one-handed catch because Russell wasn't on target, but then he calmed down. And yes, 16 points isn't what you want from your quarterback, but he drove the Broncos to the red zone on 4 different occasions, only came out with 6 points in those, but that he was moving the ball like he needed to. 69% completion, 340 yards. This is a huge improvement from what the Broncos have seen. If he keeps this up, the Broncos are going to be just fine.
I think something that people were a little surprised about were how few targets the wide receivers had in the first half. There were only 2 wide receivers targeted in the first 30 minutes of play. Of course, Jerry Jeudy, he managed to make the most of his throughout the game. What are you giving him after making 4 catches for 102 yards and, of course, that massive touchdown?
The biggest play that the Broncos have had in over a year is what Jerry Jeudy had, and on that touchdown, he did a great job concentrating, which he's had some issues with in the past, then a great job breaking a defender, and then took off for the races and showed off his speed. He was fantastic. I'm going to give him an A- here because he did have that one concentration drop that he had, but then 102 yards. Jerry Jeudy looked like the player the Broncos want him to be.
Yes, it was so great to finally see him get into the end zone on that 67-yard bomb, of course. And like you mentioned, in the 4 trips to the red zone, the Broncos only came away with 6 points due to a pair of goal line fumbles. I have to assume that this warrants a failing grade.
Spot on. An F, unfortunately. If the Broncos don't mess up just one of those times, they're going to win this game here. 2 red zone fumbles. The last time that happened on the 1-yard line was 1987. Shows you how bad of luck that was. But the running backs just have to hold on to the ball. The offensive linemen have to hear the adjustments that happen at the line of scrimmage, and you just can't have that. And then Cortland Sutton's penalty, which knocked them back 5 yards. Nathaniel Hackett was very critical after the game, said you absolutely cannot have that. You have to come away with more than 3 points in those 3 red zone drives that happened in the second half.
Of course, moving on to Denver's defense, while an undisciplined first half really forced the Broncos to play from behind, how would you grade the Broncos defense specifically in those final 30 minutes of play?
An A+. It was the best part of the game for the Broncos. They give up 34 yards in the second half. Think about that. In 2 quarters of football, 34 yards. They allowed negative 12 yards to Seattle in the fourth quarter. That is mind-blowing. They started off slow in the first half, but their adjustments at halftime were perfection, and the defense really locked in.
Yes, that's something that we absolutely needed to see. But of course, the final minute or so of that game, it has everybody talking league-wide. So how would you grade all the decisions that were really made in that final minute?
Well, as we heard earlier from Nathaniel Hackett, he said he would do it over again, and so you have to grade it as a failure as well. Nathaniel Hackett had the opportunity to go for it on 4th and 5 with Russell Wilson, the guy that you just gave a massive contract to, and instead he tried to kick the 2nd longest field goal in NFL history. Nathaniel Hackett would have done it over again. That means it wasn't the right decision. And then the decision to let the clock run down, it does not look good in hindsight.
Yeah.
I understand what he was doing there, but you have Russell Wilson. He's great in the fourth quarter. You got to put the ball in his hands.
You know, I feel like sometimes there's more that you can learn from a loss than even a win. So hopefully the Broncos can take what they need from that game and just move forward. But still to come here on Broncos A to Z, some of the greatest Week 1 calls made by the voice of Broncos football on KOA Radio, Dave Logan, and some of Russell Wilson's best mic'd up moments against his former team. Don't go anywhere.
Williams to the right of Wilson. Seahawks rush 4. Wilson in the pocket, steps up. Now pinballs back, buys some time, throws the ball open, and catching is Cortland Sutton. Sutton stops, and at the sideline with a stiff arm forced into the Seattle sideline at the 24-yard line. Quick throw right side. Here's Metcalf again. Metcalf with a stiff arm. Broncos hurry over. The ball stripped free, and Denver's going to have this football, and they get up running down the sideline. Denver's got the ball, and the turnover for the Broncos at a critical time. Randy Gregory, I think, stripped the ball. Justin Simmons, I believe, picked it up. They tried the smoke route. Gregory stripped the ball, and Denver is in business with a huge turnover with 5:29 to go in the third quarter. Tries to draw the Broncos off sides. They rush 4. Smith in the pocket. Drops deep. He's hit and sacked inside the 25-yard line. And that is Bradley Chubb. A huge play for the fifth-year linebacker out of North Carolina State. Second sack of the game for Chubb, the first causing a fumble that was recovered by the Seahawks.
Awesome to get a behind-the-scenes look inside the booth with the legend himself, Dave Logan.
Yes, no doubt. And Dave wasn't the only one mic'd up Monday night. Russell Wilson wore the wire for his return to Lumen Field and gave us some insight into the leader he's become for the Denver Broncos. Take a listen.
Let's go, baby. Let's get it. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Set. Woo! Hug it out. Let's great, baby. Let's get it. Let's be great.
You look way better in all white,
blue, and orange. I got the orange. Let's go. I got you. Let's go get it, man. Let's go. Whatever it takes. Let's go bring it, man. Let's go get it. Come on. Stamina. Go make some plays. Stamina. Let's go make some plays. One play at a time. Gotta love it. Gotta love the opportunity. Let's go. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win. No better day in the game, dude. No better day in the game, dude. What's up, boy? Have a great one. Have a great one. Yep. What's up, big Al? Good to see you, big dog. Be great. Be great. 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1. Gotta get it, guys. Gotta get it. Let's go answer. Let's pick up the tempo up here. Here we go. Love you, boys. Here we go.
Empty set for Wilson on 3rd and 2. Judy, wide left. Inside Javonte Williams to the right. Seahawks rush forward. They got a quick start. Russ throws the ball. Judy's open and makes the catch. Judy's still on his feet. Down the sideline. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Denver! Jerry Judy. A 67-yard play.
Dude! Woo! Oh! Let's get it! Ah! Let's get it! Let's go! Let's get it! Let's go! Let's get it! Let's go! All day! All day! Let's get it! Let's go, man! Let's go! Keep balling! Keep balling! I love it. Great protection. Great protection right there. That was beautiful. Keep battling now. Hey, the run game's money. The run game's money. Hands and feet. Hands and feet. Stay inside. Let's go. Bust it open. Bust it open from here on out. From here on out. From here on out. Let's go, Bowles. Hey, Bowles, bust it open. Bust it open. Let's get it. Jerry mother Judy. Ah! Let's go. That's it. Good protection. Good protection. Hey, boy. Hey, man, you're a beast out there. I'll see you. Let's go, baby. Let's get it. Let's do right. Here we go. Real fast. Hey, we got to dominate here, okay? I need you guys to hold strong. We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. Great language, great vision, great belief. Stay on schedule. That's all we got to do. That's it. What's up, my guys? You're the best, bro. I love you, man. How you been? Good. Good to see you, bro. Miss you, bro. That was a good game. It's crazy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. One more.
Coming up on the other side of the break, a midweek injury update and what the Broncos should be honing in on as the Houston Texans head to the Mile High City for Denver's home opener. Don't go anywhere.
All right, let's go over the injury report first. Quinn with his hamstring will not participate. Randy, shoulder, knee will not participate. KJ will not participate. We got Justin Simmons. He has a quad. He will not participate today. K1 will be limited with his wrist. And all this for today is kind of projected as a full go practice. We'll be in a jog through mentality with spiders on.
And it's hard to replace a guy like Justin Simmons. You know, what he does for our defense, what he does in the locker room is for this team with his leadership.
He's a competitor. I mean, he's one of those guys. I mean, he played the whole game with it. I mean, I got so much respect for him just as a person and as a player.
I mean, for us, we kind of pride ourselves on having, the next guy available ready. And Caden Stearns played a a ton of ball in this league in such a short time. So I think he's very ready for the situation and for the opportunity, and I think he'll come in. I think he'll play great.
After taking Tuesday to rest and really reset, the Broncos, they returned to the meeting room today. Of course, they also returned to the field in preparation to take on the Houston Texans, who are coming off a draw against the Indianapolis Colts. But overall, in your opinion, what should be Denver's #1 priority this week in practice?
They have to look inward on themselves. The penalties killed them. 12 penalties for over 100 yards. The fumbles, the coaching mistakes that were made. If the Broncos play like they can and play up to their potential, they'll take care of the Houston Texans, just like they should have taken care of the Seattle Seahawks. They'll be okay, but focus on themselves. They don't have to worry about Davis Mills coming into town.
Okay, good to know. Well, that is all the time we have for Broncos A to Z. For Zach Stevens, I'm Alexis Perry, but I'll see you right back here Friday night for a full game preview alongside Steve Atwater and Orlando Franklin for Broncos Weekend. Thanks so much for watching.